Hello everybody, my name is Sniping is Fun, and I welcome you all back to the next character in this long-running series of various newcomer ideas for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, the Super Smash Bros. Series. And I just realized this, and it actually kind of is embarrassing, because no video I've done in this series this has happened to before, but I just realized with my last character, 120 Primrose from Octopath Traveler, I never actually put her picture in the video. Oh my god. So if you watch that video and you for some reason don't know who she is, and it's before I update the thumbnail, which I haven't done that in a while, so a lot of my videos I still need to update my thumbnails for. This is Primrose Azar. She's a dancer. She was my character 120 last time. So with that being said, let's get this picture out of the way. Sorry, Primrose, I never put your picture in there. Okay, but this time we are doing character number 121. And as I mentioned last time, on the road to 150, people. We're getting close, and I'll be done with this series before I know it. Will be another character from Octopath Traveler. It will be Therion, the thief from Octopath Traveler. And basically, as I mentioned in almost all my videos, why does the character make sense? My moveset ideas and percentage chance I can actually see them actually getting in. So why does Octopath Traveler deserve to get a character? And if said Octopath Traveler game, or eventually if it ever gets a character in Smash Brothers, why should it be Therion over, say, Primrose or any of the other 6 members of the party? I mean, the 6 other characters you can pick, the warriors and knights and clerics and whatever the other merchants and stuff like that. People, why should it be the thief? Why should it be Therion? So as I mentioned first, let me just dive back and jump into Octopath Traveler. Why does Octopath Traveler deserve to get a character? As I mentioned in the Primrose video, it's one of the biggest games to come out on Switch in the last year. It's this new collaboration game with Nintendo that takes us back to the 16-bit RPG days of Final Fantasy from Square Enix. Square Enix and Nintendo, their relationship's getting much, much better, and this is an exclusive. So representing this popular new game exclusive that came out on the Switch during its slower year of 2018, and it stood out being really popular and sold really well. Like an exclusive game that was made for the Switch, representing that, I think, would be a smarter idea than representing one of the other franchises. Not saying the other franchises don't deserve it, because they probably deserve it more, but I think from a marketing standpoint, this might be a little bit smarter. And then as for why Therion, just like Primrose, he's one of the more popular characters I've seen people talking about in the party. He's a thief, which, just like the dancer class she has, we have not seen anyone in Smash Bros. Really be a thief, which is surprising given a few of the series in the Smash Bros. Series, namely Zelda or Fire Emblem, have thieves in it, and none of them ever got included in the game. But okay. And other franchises too, for that matter. But like I said, it's a thief class, which stands out and be different. He's one of the more popular characters from the series, so it stands out and be different. And he represents this game, which stood out last year on the Switch and was different. And one of the more big games come out in the last year. So I picked Therion for character 121, Octopath Traveler in Smash Bros. Moveset ideas. Now, he's a thief. He's quick. He can steal items. He's just a thief. He can be quick and agile. Just like I mentioned with Primrose, Azar, he's gonna be he's a speed evasion character. He's not super heavy damage. Obviously, a thief won't be super rough, strong knight warrior type class in an RPG, so he's not gonna deal heavy amounts of damage. But he can easily run around the stage. He'll be one of the fastest characters in the game. He can evade attacks. He is an agile character that you can strategically move around the field with, and combo heavy character. And someone that you can deal a lot of damage with combos, but if you're just doing single attacks here and there, he's not going to deal heavy amounts of damage. It's more of a heavy, more harder hitting character like a Ganondorf or a Bowser or something. His smash attacks, he has a sword and a dagger, so he's going to fight with both. Whether you want to put the like I said, I never played the game, and I mentioned this in the Primrose video. I did a little bit of research on this character. I want to get into the game. It's just one of the games for Switch I have not got to yet. But he's a thief, so he fights with a sword and a dagger. So you could either A, have it be where he has a sword in one hand and a dagger in the other, or certain smash attacks are a sword and certain smash attacks are a dagger. And I know people are going to complain about being a sword user, but he has a dagger as well, which we don't have in the series yet. So yada yada yada, boom, it will make him a different type of sword user. So I would say it's going to be a mixed match. Like certain smash attacks would be a sword, certain smash attacks would be a dagger. you have to be closer for the dagger attacks. But it could easily be one-hand sword, one-hand dagger, and it'd be kind of cool to see that too. His special attacks, and also he's a thief, so he's be agile, quick, and be like, yeah, like very quick type stuff. His special attacks would be a lot of his elemental, like special ability type stuff. He can do Wildfire, which is a fire damage spell. He can do HP Thief, which can steal HP. I mentioned various characters in this series about certain characters that can steal HP and give it back to themselves. I know certain few Fire Emblem characters have mentioned that too, and certain other like mage type characters that have the ability to steal magic, steal HP from characters and give them a heal. I think it'd be kind of cool if he can do that. Like he can steal some. Now to make it not OP, maybe only 3 to 5% at a time, and you can't overuse the thing. But it'd be kind of cool for you to be like, oh, I have like 90% damage, 80, 85, 80, and like you're giving them damage as you do it. So it's attacks. It's certain special attacks with the dagger and the sword, but it's like elemental magic where you're stealing HP from them, and it's just like the fire damage where you're doing fire damage to them too. And if he has any other magical ability you can use, given that in Octopath Traveler you can do it's the second class, so you can make it more of a mage. Maybe throw some other elemental magic in there too, like lightning, thunder, and ice and water and whatnot. And it's like a nice little nod to it being a classic abilities that have been in this, with Square Enix since the days of Final Fantasy back on the NES and whatnot. So it's a little nod to the game, him getting a secondary class, but also a nod to classic Final Fantasy, those being some of the major magical spells in general. So it's not just fire and HP steal. Other attacks he could do, and this is a small little like status boost, like how I mentioned with Primrose, her doing little taunts or attacks in a tag battle, in a team smash. You give little buffs to your team so they can take a little more damage, or they have like a shield on them, or they can give a little more damage. A little special nod if you're playing as her in a team smash. He has special abilities called Shackle Foe and Armor Corrosive, which basically reduces physical and defense on teammates for a short period of time. So I think this would be another special ability that he could have, just like Primrose, in a team smash, so you can only get it if you're on a team with someone, or if you attack opponents with the Shackle Foe or the Armor Corrosive, your teammates can get a little boost in their attack damage or their defense damage. Defense percentage, attack percentage, so they receive a little bit less damage or give a little more damage out. It'd be kind of cool. His also a special ability, like I mentioned with counterattack for Primrose, is his special ability is steal. He can steal items. Now, in RPGs, that's a standard feature that's been around for years, but in Smash Bros, that's not really something that you can really make, except as a character special ability, except for how I would think it. If they have an item in their hand, you can snatch it from them by doing a special ability. That's it. Or you can snatch, maybe if you're lucky, you can snatch one of their lives or some or percentage damage or something. Or maybe you can snatch a move from them even. Like maybe they can't do their up B or down B or something. Or they can't do special attacks or smash attacks for a short period of time. Maybe that could be something too. But I was thinking of the steal ability being specifically for when they have an item. Oh, I picked up a sword. Here comes Therion, goes by and let's say it's Mario. He grabs the sword from him. Like you can do a special ability. If you run past them by pressing while pressing a certain button, you steal the item out of their hands instead of knocking it off, out of them or something, or making them drop it or something. That'd be kind of cool. Now we get into Final Smash. His talent, I mentioned the recruit thing for Primrose. His talent is pick lock, so he could pick locks. He's a thief. He could obviously break into buildings and break open treasure chests and everything. So it's a cutscene based one. He opens up the pick lock, opens up the cave, the chest, and out comes this giant monster that just attacks the opponents and knocks them off stage. And he probably could do wildfire and send them flying. There you go. So it's a nice little nod to maybe you can make the monster maybe a mimic where you open up the chest and the chest monster is like and attacks the opponents. You maybe do a mimic because that's a classic thing in RPGs. It's the chests that are actually monsters, or you could just make a giant monster just pop out of the chest and attack opponents. There you go. Percentage chance I guess actually see him getting in the game. I'm going to keep it the same as I mentioned with Primrose. It's not high, but it's not low. It's one of those moments where maybe it's one of the biggest games come out, of Square Enix for Nintendo recently, but also there's other franchises from Square Enix that are more legendary, not just with Nintendo, but in general in the gaming industry. Kingdom Hearts, Dragon Quest, The World Ends With You, stuff like that. Chrono Trigger even. Those probably deserve more, especially Dragon Quest. But if Octopath Traveler it's only one game right now. Now, if Octopath Traveler becomes a series and continues on with a second game on the Switch or a third game on the Switch or the next Nintendo system, their 10th gen system and whatnot, if the series continues, maybe by the time next Smash Bros. Comes around, they'll get a third-party character. They'll get one of the third-party slots, maybe. But it's kind of low now, but it's not super low because of how Octopath Traveler's been doing on the Switch, and maybe they want to do a marketing reason. And I'm gonna give him, just like her, a 35% chance. Not too high, but not really too low. It's kind of near the middle, but a little bit on the low end. So, Therion from Octopath Traveler. That's it for him. Crap. Okay. Put in the comments what you guys think. You guys want to see Therion or an Octopath Traveler character in general get into Smash Brothers? Which one would you want to personally pick? Would it be Therion? Would it be Primrose? Would it be one of the other characters? Who knows? Put in the comments below. Does my moveset make sense? What would you do? What would you change? Would the final Smash be good? Would him being able to snatch items from opponents be good? His special boost and buffs to teammates be good and Team Smash just like her? So on and so forth. Put it on there and discuss it. We can have fun. My name is Snipers One Piece. Please subscribe if you want to have a lovely day. That's Kit for character number 121 on the road to 150. When I come back in 122, we're going to stay with Square Enix and stay with an RPG, but not Octopath Traveler, but a franchise that's a little more legendary, a little more popular, and especially in Japan. When I did a character on this series a long time ago with Yusha, it's Dragon Quest, and I'm finally talking about Eardrick. See y'all later.